No.
Yes, action. There you go. Perfect. All right then. So we are going to start our first session of Beam Saber. The title of this campaign is Echoes of Sin. I am Matt, your GM. Do we want to introduce everybody here for people who are probably not ever going to watch this, but hey, why not?
Our 4 viewers will enjoy this.
Yes, and they are all us.
I was gonna say it's like each of the viewers here. Wait, who's not
Hi,
watching?
Mom. I'm not watching.
But yeah, I'm Bill, and I'll be playing the officer character,
What is your officer's name?
Desdemona Neath.
Very nice. Ben, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Ben. I'm on the Millennium Falcon right now, and I'm playing Sunny D. He's an infiltrator.
Nice. Val?
I am playing the soldier character, and her name is Bellafron.
Nice.
Bellerophon.
Fuck. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's
Well,
her
lucky
name.
for
She
you,
can
you're not the
pronounce
one
it.
that has to say it. Yeah, she doesn't have to
That's
say
right.
it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
right.
She just says, "I'm Miss B." And John, last but not least.
Hi, I'm John. I will be playing the Ace character, and my character's name is Will.
All right. I don't suppose that since you've got this new character, I know you and Ben kind of worked out some stuff. Did you get your beliefs changed with Bill and Val's characters?
I did not.
No.
Why don't you guys do that super quick?
Okay.
Matt, how do you want me to approach that? Do you want to just give a quick summary of
Yeah, I
the
think so.
character?
And yeah, we'll start off with you. We'll give it'll be kind of an opening. Everybody can kind of give a very quick like elevator pitch of their character, but this will
Okay.
also help them do uh, their beliefs.
So my character is Will. He doesn't have a last name. He goes by the call sign Ryder. He's youthful, slim. Now, one thing that's unusual about him is he does have these glowing accent lines, which are fairly common for cyborg characters, characters who interface with the internet or like with augmented reality or with machines in general. So he has a lot of those in very ornate patterns across his body and his face, and an unusual flight suit that's not anything that's common on Elysium. Um, I don't know how much we want to go into the character's backstory or not, but I did change up a lot about his persona. He's a little bit more aloof. He is uh, a little bit more introspective and thoughtful, but he is an excellent pilot. Um, I the connections that I came up with, just to kind of go back, I'm going to start with Sunny. Um, the connection that I came up with Sunny was that his eyes see much. I should heed his warnings. Um, with Bellerophon, I went with she can attain great heights if she can learn to let go. And then with Desdemona, it was her pain seems to drive her, but what's left when it's gone? Um, yeah, I think that's my 30-second pitch on the character.
I like that. So uh, we'll kind of give Val and Bill a little bit here to get an idea of what their beliefs they want to share with Will are going to be. So in the meantime, Ben, why don't you introduce us to Sunny and give your quick little pitch of him, and why don't you go ahead and go over your beliefs about the other three characters as well, just so these will be something we want to look out for and try to play towards during the game because it will determine some other aspects of rules and things later on. So it's good to remind everybody of what these beliefs are.
Sure. So my character is the infiltrator. He was raised by and grown by NVI, which is the corporatocracy. And when he presented this information back to his superiors, he was downsized. And so now Sonny is on his own. And let's see what he thinks of the others. So for Desdemona, she's believed to be compromised and subservient to her superiors. For Bellerophon, she may be inexperienced for espionage and lacks subtlety. And for Will, I want to say, let's say I think that Will is a mechanical savant, but also lacks experience because of his aloofness.
Nice. Let's see. Bill, do you have an idea of what your belief for will be?
I think you're muted.
Yep. I kind of got one. If you have one, Val, I'll let you go first.
I mean, Bellerophon's personal belief is that he's just an emotionless sort of machine. Like, since he's so cold and aloof, she just kind of thinks he has nothing going there in terms of the heart.
That could be fun to play with, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, why don't you give us your quick description of who Bellerophon is, and now that we know at least one of your beliefs, give us the other two beliefs.
No, Bellerophon is one of the parahumans. She's a couple generations deep, where she has features of different animals, like the scales of a snake. I changed the horns to be horns of a goat. Like, there's a special kind of goat that has like spiral horns. Yeah. And she's very cat-like in terms of features for the most part, and she's also part dog and has she doesn't like discussing it, and she tries to hide it as well as she can, but she does have the tail of a golden retriever.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and from what I recall, she spent some time on the planetoid of ambition as a bounty hunter at one point, but
Bounty hunter and sheriff.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that little tidbit there. So we know what she believes about Will. What does she believe about Sonny and Desdemona?
Well, she personally believes that Sonny's a pushover. Like, that's basically everything that she thinks about him. And with Desdemona, in her words, a stuck-up bitch that takes herself way too seriously.
Poor Des. She's not really seen too well in a couple people's eyes, but that's what this is about. We'll see if that changes as we go along. All right, Bill. Hopefully you've had a time to workshop that a little bit, and you're muted.
It's the hardware mute.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta remember that one. But yeah, so Desdemona is an officer of is it EDF?
Yeah, it's the Elysium Protectorate.
Oh, EPF, right?
I think so. Is that right?
Or just EP, or I think it was just EP.
Okay.
We can go with EPF if you want.
That's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. Either way, EP, EPF, either way. and she's newly graduated officer school after kind of grinding her way to even get it accepted. And then her first assignment is to be told that she has to be a volunteer for a mercenary company, so she's not very happy. As such, she sort of expects that she's going to be the commander, seeing as that's her rank. She's a second lieutenant. She's expecting that she should be the highest ranking here, but she knows it's probably out the window. Regarding how she feels about her co-pilots there, her compatriots, with Will, she thinks that he shows promise but needs a guiding hand. Bellerophon, she thinks that she's a wild card, too unpredictable. And then with Sunny, she thinks that he's a slacker who needs to be more diligent.
By the way, does anyone want to share their pronouns for their character? I have a good idea. I believe I know what they all were beforehand, but now that we have Will in the mix and he's a he, she, or they is a cyborg, I just want to make sure we all get all these correct. So, Ben, what are your pronouns for Sunny?
He, him.
Bill, what about Desdemona?
She, her.
Val, how about Bellerophon?
She, her.
John, what about Will?
He, him.
All right, that makes it very easy for me. Just to kind of go over, this is a Forged in the Dark game, which is based on Blades in the Dark, I believe. This is not something any of us have actually played before. We've done some very very rough, dry runs on Thursday just to try to get a handle on the system, and probably weren't doing it a lot at all correctly. So tonight is going to be probably a little rough. I ask you to bear with me as we figure out the rules. One of the things that the book recommends is to add complexity slowly. So this first session, we're probably not going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at you. It's going to be, figuring out how roles work and certain things. As stuff comes up, we'll bring it into the narrative as needed. But I'm not going to be like, all right, here's everybody's rivals, and we're also changing your trust with this faction and that, and that's going to be too much. So if we'll see how this goes. If I do rule something incorrectly based on the book, and I've done it incorrectly because you've probably read it a little closer than I have, give me a gentle reminder. We'll go over it. If we're not entirely sure, we'll just do a ruling on it right now, and we can always come back and retcon that if we find out we were doing it wrong. But before we start proper, one thing I do want to bring up is something that is becoming more useful in today's role-playing environment, which is the X card, any lines or veils that we have. So the idea is that if you have an X card as we're playing, if something comes up in the narrative that makes you uncomfortable, or you really don't want to have to address that topic, whatever it is, you can play what they call the X card. You can either send me a message with an X, you can just kind of cross out like this, and just kind of gives me a heads up that we're getting into territory that you're not comfortable with, and we can shift away from that. Something else that we want to talk about are lines and veils. The idea is that a line is a line that we don't ever cross while we're playing, so this could be a topic that even before running into it, just randomly, this is something that you just do not want to have come up in this game, again, because it may be uncomfortable in nature for you. So, a good example is always, any sort of sexual assault or something like that. That's pretty much a hard line that I'm never going to really bring up during this, so that's on my list. So are there any hard lines that you guys are uncomfortable with that we can immediately cross off the list? I will add that to my own personal notes. If for some reason you don't feel comfortable telling me what those are in front of everyone, you can just send me a message and I'll make sure that goes on there. But yeah, does anyone have any hard lines that they want to draw at the moment?
I don't think I have too much that goes beyond like the sort of obvious.
No
Yeah, I mean,
clowns.
obviously, yeah, no clowns.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, obviously, like no sexual assault is something we talked about. No, like racism and stuff like that is a thing. Like real world slurs and stuff like that are not appropriate. But nothing out of the beyond that, I guess.
Question to the racism. Does that include people being not friendly to robot kind?
No, that doesn't include that.
Okay.
That's fine. No, like real world racism is definitely a line I do
Yeah.
not want to cross.
Easy
But
enough.
fictional speciesism is probably okay.
And if not, if we get into any weird territory, of course, we got the X card. The other thing, does anybody else have any hard lines? Sounds good. The other thing that we talk about are veils, and this is kind of like as Bill put it the other day, the fade to black. So if sex or something comes up, which it hasn't in our games before, but considering we've been playing like 15-year-olds, that was probably very good that never ever came up. But still, the idea of sex or anything romantic that leads to something graphic like that, we call that a veil. So you're kind of, yes, it's happening, but it's happening off screen. We're not going to role play that out. It's just going to continue. We all know what happens. We don't have to go into it.
I want Matt to write me a transcript. I'm just kidding.
Just gild it too.
Yeah, no, we're good.
The transcript would just be like 70s bass intensifies.
Yes, there can be offline fan fiction that details all that. I will be the first to subscribe to that, I'm sure. But yeah, so let's get into playing. As I said, we're going to just kind of ease into things. Hopefully this will work out fairly well. We'll try to talk over the rules as they come up. We'll get everybody on the same page, and maybe we'll have fun. That's the idea, at least. Anything else before we begin? Cool beans. All right. So the mode of play generally has like 3 different sections to it. You have free play in the beginning, then you have the mission, and then you have like the reward / downtime afterwards. So we're going to start off with the free play. So let's say, as we talked about, you guys own a base of sorts, which is in a mountainous, cold region, hidden from prying eyes. Do you guys have a lot of people that work with you here? Is this kind of a skeleton crew? Is it just you guys and your sort of commanding officer here, or do you have some other people that are around to help you out when you need it? Somebody running the bar and things like that.
Just trying to remember like what upgrades we had.
Well, we had the workshop and we had the training room or something like that. Recon
Hidden
rigging.
FOB.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
recon
hidden.
rigging and workshop. So I kind of feel like that probably goes like the recon rigging probably goes with the workshop, and then the hidden doesn't affect which crew we would have. I picture that the only crew that like we for sure have is probably some mechanics. Like we have a few people that like do staff the workshop. Like we don't do all of the work ourselves.
Yeah. The
There's
bare
roughly-
minimum to keep this place running, basically.
Basically,
Yeah, I would say skeleton crew sounds
Mhm.
more like our style.
yeah, pretty much. Like I picture like there is some actual dedicated mechanics. Like I'm sure all of us, all of our characters, kind of know the way around our own mechs, but like these are people who are more general. They can do things that we don't know how to do.
Right. All right. So in that case, let's start off in the kind of the flight commander's room here. Your direct superior, who works for the Elysium Protectorate, which is the faction that your squad has currently pinned all their hopes and dreams on. They're the ones paying the tab for most of this stuff. And they're keeping you afloat. So you do owe a little bit of what you've got right now to Iago Day, who is your direct superior, and he is currently sitting in his office. Desdemona, you are in there with him as well. Are you sitting before him? What is your posture now?
When she first comes in, it'd just be just like a general commander, little like finger salute, sits down.
I trust you are finding everything appropriate here.
It's Spartan, but everything we need should be here.
Yes, from what I've read of your file, you don't strike me as someone who needs trappings.
Hmm. I've been out in the mud and the blood. I've seen worse.
Just remember that this crew you'll be working with, they are not your typical pilots.
I'm aware.
He just kind of smirks and says, really? I don't suppose you did your research then.
I read the dossier I was given.
Well, certain things are often left out of those.
Of course. Well, not quite what I went to officer school for, if I may speak freely, but I'll make do.
I hope I don't have to worry about you getting itchy feet while you're here.
This is my first post. I wouldn't be very keen on immediately messing it up.
That's good. This squad may be a bit strange, but they are promising. You could do well to learn from them, as much as they would do to learn from you.
I hope I can provide that.
As do I. I would hate to see your training go to waste.
As would I.
He'll stand up, kind of walk around the desk, and just expect you to follow, basically.
Mhm.
And he'll kind of walk out the room, wait for you to get in lockstep behind him, and head towards what I imagine is your guys' sort of rumpus room, where everybody sort of hangs out in between missions. I'll say that just for sake of brevity, the three of you are actually already in here, so we can get this show under the road. So when we enter, what do you guys see yourself as doing? What's available for you in here? Are you guys hanging out together? Is this sort of a everybody's off in their own corner doing their own things? What do you guys think? What's the draw me a scene here on what Desdemona sees when she first is introduced to you guys?
Do we have playing cards?
Absolutely.
Anyone fancy a game of poker?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think Sonny would definitely be playing poker with Bellerophon.
Will would just watch and ask a bunch of questions and probably give away
Ruin.
Sonny's
What is this?
cards.
Why do you have a 7?
Yeah. Is it good that you have a 7, 8, and 9?
Sonny just folds again.
Yeah, so I imagine Bellerophon's kind of raking in the chips, which are physical stand-ins for the digital credit that the sector uses as money. And there's just the back and forth going on between Sonny and Will. Commander Day just kind of gives a sweeping motion to the room. Are there any particular features in here that you guys want to have? Is it as Spartan as the rest of the base? Have you tarted it up in any way?
Picture there's like the card table. Maybe there's like a dart board.
I feel like there might be a kitchenette or like a bar card or something. With
There's
like
definitely
some,
like
some,
a coffee pot.
Definitely a coffee pot.
Yeah.
Like we just
it's
press
not-
a button and it just goes.
Yeah, really. It's really more of like a break room than a rumpus room. Is kind of what I'm imagining. Right.
Mhm.
There might be like a mini fridge or something like stocked with like canned
But, like-
drinks or something like that.
And like MREs, like
Mhm.
just packages of meals ready to eat available. They're all dry and gross. I mean,
I'm
some
just
of them are pretty good.
imagining like a fridge and it has like random lunchbox in it, and like there's one that's been there for a really long time, and you
There's
don't know who it belongs to.
It was there before we got here.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it has like the name Tim written on it, but there's no Tim working.
Even the mechanics don't know whose it is.
But they all speak fondly of him somehow. Oh, yes. Poor guy.
He'll be
Left a
back
whole
one
bunch of
day.
stuff here.
Yeah,
A rotting
so
turkey sandwich.
God.
And they're trying to like sort of like a propaganda sort of like corporate thing.
Ooh,
like,
yeah, I like that. Yeah, like
like like how like you work at like a chain store or grocery store, there's always like this is how you can move up sort of deal.
Time
There's
to
a big-
lean, time to clean.
There's
Well, it is-
a big poster that just says Elysium Protectorate. When you're here, you're family.
Yes.
That's your one. Okay. Everybody gets one.
I can't wait to use mine.
Oh my god, yes. I just kind of imagine the advertising in the room to be much like Starship Troopers
Yes.
with the EPF.
Oh yeah.
There's probably like a thing to like a hotline to stop smoking sort of deal, and like nobody's calling that shit. Nobody.
But it's for the mech. It's if your mech is smoking.
Yes, my Mac
Jeez.
is just smoking. My Mac can go 3 fucking cigars deep at once.
I mean, not like that. I mean, like there's something wrong with the engine.
It's
But yeah,
It just rings up one of the mechanics' phones.
If you have problems with vaping,
Oh Lord.
yeah.
No, vaping was outlawed after the vaping wars of 2367. So we
No,
don't-
everything's
death
dug
hits.
like cotton candy for years.
yeah, you can't get that smell out of your Mac. It's not good.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, the flight commander, he kind of walks in, peeks over Bellerophon's shoulder at her cards, looks up to Sonny and just shakes his head and gives kind of one of these like, and then turns back to Desdemona and says, "Well, she's here. Do what you do best." And he just walks out.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure you've heard, but I am Second Lieutenant Desdemona Neath, and I am your new commanding officer.
what is it you do best?
Lead. That's what I was trained to do.
Well, it's
Ending
a pleasure to meet you, Desi.
I would.
Sonny just kind of shifty eyes. Everybody.
I would prefer you refer to me as Second Lieutenant Neath, or if we're in our mechs, as my call sign Athena.
Glad to know it's a preference, Second Lieutenant Athena.
Just like just pinches the bridge of the nose.
You sign
We
my
will.
checks?
Hmm?
Are you signing my checks?
That would be the gentleman who just left.
Right. So
I answer to him. You all answer to me.
Sonny subtly raises his bet, and then he's wearing long sleeves, so I feel like he'd also have like cheat cards in his hand.
It's not working for you at all.
What is that card you pulled out of your sleeve?
Wow, what does the A mean?
Ah. Sonny just slams down the cards and gets up from the table and heads over to the kitchenette.
They pull the tips towards me.
Well, good job with leading. Thank you. Thank you, Second Lieutenant Neath. And I go over to the area that Sonny's gone.
Can I help you? Do you drink coffee?
No, I'll pass. Thank you. So what was your strategy back there? Was it to just hand her your chips, or was there something else that you were trying to do?
Yeah, I was trying to win.
Oh, I see. So you win by handing her your chips.
Well, that's how she wins, but somebody wins. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Card games are complicated.
They certainly are.
Sonny finishes like pouring his cup and like walks over to Desdemona and he's like, "So what information do you have on me?"
Well, not a whole lot. Just former NVI.
Sonny nods, takes a sip of the coffee, and then goes and sits back down at the poker table.
Not that it
So
bothers
not a-
me.
Yeah, well, I've got a bone to pick with them.
So, what kind of information do you have on me, Officer Athena?
That you were from that pleasant place known as Ambition. Did some sort of work as a sheriff of some respect.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what sort of laws you were enforcing there.
Anything further?
Not in particular.
Interesting. They really gave you the bare bones of everything, didn't they?
Pretty much.
This is quite fun. Do me now.
I'll be honest, I had just about the least about you. A name? Honestly, about it.
That wasn't as fun as I expected.
Come on, Lieutenant, your deduction skills can be better than that. Look at how he's dressed. He's
I
definitely
mean, you're the one expected to lead us. Do a better job.
looks like he's stepped out of a servants of sin church.
Yeah, so let's take this opportunity to actually describe what everybody looks like. Will, what are since since Sonny sort of called out your garb, what do you look like here?
Um, so I think that, like I said earlier, I'm fairly youthful, slim. I do have all of the markings of a cyborg, so I'm able to interface. They glow. It's cool. And I think that like I'm wearing generally dark clothing, mostly tattered. Um, it would not be a surprise. I've been wandering the wastes of Elysium for a while, and I really haven't changed my clothes much. So nothing too elaborate or ornate. Um, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, do I guess I do look like a servant of sin insofar as they generally wear like tattered cloaks and stuff like that. Um, but nothing to specifically call out. Like it doesn't. I'm not wearing a big sign that says servant.
I feel like also Sonny would be observant enough to pick up any kind of subtle thing, seeing as how he worked espionage and is kind of aware of, I guess, just the culture of the world.
There may be like some special way that they tie their cloaks, or just who knows.
Yeah. Well, I think that the flight suit is probably something uh, that like the people occasionally who have attacked the artifact may have worn. Um, it's not something that is commonly worn in like uh, Earth-like environments. So it's certainly a spacer suit, and not one that's used by like the ULF or uh, by like the ambitious like forces by the Elysium Protectorate or anything like that.
So it's your boot tread. I'm just gonna say it's your boot tread.
There you go.
Okay, so Sonny, since you're pointing out people's dress here, why don't you describe what Sonny is currently wearing and what you look like?
Yeah, so Sonny is wearing like mostly civvies at this point, except for like an old NVI jacket that's like really worn. This jacket is like it's like a tailored kind of like yeah, it's like a tailored kind of like I don't know what kind of a jacket you'd say. It's like something you kind of see in an anime with like really sharp, I would want to say like sharp shoulders and like really clean lines, like maybe like an Armani or like some kind of like Hugo Boss type thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just like
Mhm.
an evil corporation type suit jacket. Slash, yeah, that's kind of what he's wearing.
Bellerophon, we got a rundown of your various animal parts, but do you walk around naked like that, or are you?
No. She
I don't.
looks pretty person-like
I don't.
for an
I don't know
animal
if this is
person.
a. I don't know if this is a Disney situation where you just have like a top on and people aren't.
Donald Duck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess Mickey Mouse if you go the other way.
Right.
It's more of a titties out sort of look.
Goofy the dog or Pluto the dog?
Goofy wears pants.
Yeah, he does. And a little hat.
Wait, well, I guess it's like a Chewbacca situation, or
Yeah.
So she's wearing clothes.
Yes, I am wearing clothes. Like I am not just fully animal. I have hair.
Okay. What clothes are these that you're gracing us with?
I'm just imagining like sort of more like a thing for the desert, like a leather not leather, just a black duster, cowboy hat that's somehow between the horns, so maybe it just pokes out. You know?
I like imagining it being like super curled in on the sides just because it's jammed onto your head with the horns there and it just doesn't.
Maybe.
Very nice. And Commander Neath. No, wait. Is that it? Commander?
Second lieutenant.
Second lieutenant. Yeah, I don't want to give you a promotion just yet.
Promotion.
So yes, second lieutenant Neath. What do you look like? I imagine in my head what I'm imagining what you're wearing, but you can confirm for me.
So right now she's wearing like her like dress uniform, seeing as she just arrived here. Like it's very nice. Like I picture for like the EPF, like their dress uniform is very evil looking. To be perfectly honest, like it's all black, not like a harsh black, like a darker slate. And she has like her commendations and medals. There's not a whole lot, like just a few things. You can see on her shoulders she has her rank insignia, all that sort of stuff. She has her hair done up in a very tight bun, kind of keeping it out of the way. You can tell she if it was fully let out, it'd probably be about shoulder length. Herself, she looks to be probably like she's early 30s, but you can kind of tell, yeah, she is early 30s, but she's had a rough go of it to that point. She's seen some shit. She looks tired.
Her skin
From
looks
rookie
lived
school?
Exactly. And beyond that, you can see like there's no major scars, but you can see there's like a gouge in her lip. And there's like you can kind of see where it looks like there might be like a piece of shrapnel that might have hit her face.
Tasteful. Yeah. So now that we've got that out of the way, we know we've painted our mind picture for everyone. So I believe the last thing that was said was Sunny was calling out Will's clothing and kind of needling Desdemona about her powers of observation.
Well, what he looks like to me is that he wandered about in the wilderness for a few years without bothering to change clothes. Hasn't seen a store in a while.
She's very observant.
It's not that hard. See,
I wouldn't really expect the servants of sin to have much use of cybernetics or the like.
Oh, times are a changing.
sometimes
Nor would I
Times.
expect them to have a mech at all.
Sonny just sips his coffee.
As usual, Sunny knows way too much about the situation. Yeah, so this probably goes on for a little bit. There's probably the lingering tension of I'm your new commander there, but we actually don't get to explore that too much because the intercom kind of crackles to life, and you hear the voice of Flight Commander Day, and he summons you to the briefing room. Evidently, he's got a new mission for you.
Well, Lieutenant, lead the way.
Second lieutenant.
Well, Second Lieutenant, lead the way.
Go ahead, Athena.
Do you know where you're going, by the way?
Kind of like, just like take a few steps, look back, and then just kind of, still standing up very straight, hands behind the back, nose a little bit up. I would kindly request that one of you leads me to the briefing room.
And I'll be glad to volunteer right there.
Wonderful. This will help me get my bearings on these new surroundings.
I turn to Bellerophon and say, "Are you the new second lieutenant?"
Yeah. No, I'm just the sheriff. And I technically, or at least I should be ahead of her.
We can discuss ranks and what they mean later, but we're expected in the briefing room, and you said you'd lead the way.
Of course, and you're holding us up. Let's go.
And go you do. There's a quick little jump through the your base of operations here. We arrive in the briefing room. What does this look like? Is this going to be something very high tech with holograms and stuff? Is it a big screen? Is it lots of toggles and switches?
I picture like there is a screen and there is holograms, but you can tell it's all old. Like it doesn't look good. It's like there's like the holograms are all like wireframe.
It looks like like the first Star Wars movie, where you can kind of see it's not the best technology for sure, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's something.
It's just industrial. It's not like fancy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's as you guys kind of file in, there is we'll say that there's like a table in the center that is sort of projecting this sort of wire grid hologram as John was referring to there from Star Wars kind of looking thing, very like it should have been high tech back in the 70s when people thought this is what the future was going to look like, sort of a deal.
The 5370s.
Yes. And the flight commander is just kind of struggling with the machine, and he slams his fist down on it and says, "Damned rendering engine." And he hits it, and the wireframe briefly like actually shows like halfway decent graphics, and you get what looks to be like dark sandy tones skinned over this wire mesh. Definitely desert in nature, but it flickers away and goes back to the wireframe again. He says, "Confound it. Remind me to get one of the engineers in here." But he looks up, and we are going to enter the mission phase of the game, which has very specific things that we kind of talk about. So the mission planning aspect is going to be me basically letting you guys know, at least for this first mission, who is employing you for this, your target, your objective, and the rules of engagement. And then you guys will get to tell me how you're going to approach this mission. Normally, if we had been playing for a while, this would also be a chance where you'd get to choose if you had any downtime activities left over that you could try that might help set you up for this upcoming mission. But since you don't have any points in material or personnel, you can't really do anything right now. So we'll skip that for this mission. So let's get down to the briefing of this. Flight commander kind of looks you over. The hologram is still sort of spinning in space, giving you a 360 look at what this is. And he says, "We've got an interesting little situation here on Elysium. outside of a town in the Transom Desert is an old mining outpost, which we believe has been taken over by a squad with known associations with the ambitious. We believe they are the Dirty Nails. We're not exactly sure what they're doing there. We have a squad of our own working for the EP, the Shrapnel Shrike. They are currently holding up in the town of Lisden. There is a contingent of ULF in the area, and we believe that they are spreading their propaganda. So we have sent the Shrikes to show a bit of force in the area. We don't want the ULF to spread their dirty lies any further than they already have. With the Dirty Nails coming in and taking over this mining outpost, the Shrike sent a small contingent of their own to investigate and plant some spy equipment. As it turns out, this mining outpost has a string of underground caverns that we believe the Dirty Nails are holed up in. Uh, the Shrike were sending their people to plant this spy equipment so that we would have some idea of what they were doing there. Unfortunately, we have not heard back from them in some time. The thoronium ore that is lacing the cave system makes it near impossible for long-range scanners to pierce. So we would like for you to enter the cave system, try to find what is left of the Shrapnel Shrike squad that went in, and if possible, set up the remaining spy equipment to make sure we can keep tabs on what the ambitious are doing with this mining site. The employer for this particular mission is Jennifer Berthold. She is the leader of the Shrapnel Shrike. Normally she would send her own forces in to help out her men, but as I said earlier, we are hoping to keep as many people on site in the town of Liston as possible. So that's where you come in. Are there any questions on the nature of the mission? What you guys? I know it was a bit of a ramble there as I try to figure out exactly what I'm supposed to let you guys know at the start. So are there any posing questions that you guys have?
Who are the Dirty Nails?
They are a squad that is associated with the ambitious.
Okay.
Would I have any further information since I was on ambition for a bit?
Yes, potentially you would. I could definitely see that as being so. I'll say that this probably won't require a fortune roll because the Dirty Nails were kind of fairly well known on ambition. They were very sort of rough and tumble type. They would take any job that would come to them. They are very well known for being kind of like take no prisoners types. And I will just go ahead and tell you that the leader of the Dirty Nails is a man named Pace Carrera. And if anybody needs me to type that out, I will put it in roll 20.
Thank you.
Ooh. Swing.
And the other thing that you'll know about Pace is that he is basically a true believer in what ambition was supposed to be. His family had worked there for quite a while. They bought into the idea that this was going to be sort of a new paradise, and that if they put in the work, that this place was going to be a new home for them. But unfortunately for him, his family did not survive out there. They were lost in the wastelands while he was out on one of his missions, trying to kind of make sure that they had the supplies they needed. So now he's got a bone to pick with everybody. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he is definitely all for ambition and sees everyone else as being against them. If you're not for helping ambition get back what they lost and for giving them the supplies they need to rebuild, then you are an enemy in his eyes, and that's definitely something you would know as being from ambition. He's a well-known character there. You probably ran into him once or twice, maybe even arrested him on occasion for starting some shit when he shouldn't have. So yes, that's what you would know about the Dirty Nails. Any other questions?
Can you repeat the objectives again? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Like I said, I rambled a bit there. But your main objective will be to bring back the lost members of Shrapnel Strike that were sent in to plant the original spy equipment. But you also have a secondary objective, which is to finish the job that they started. There's kind of like a need to plant this equipment, sort of like triangulate what's going down there to make sure that you have good scans of the area, and we can keep tabs on what the ambitions are doing in this cave system.
Okay, thank you.
So can mechs go into the caverns, like the mines? Like, what's the sort of clearance there? Do we know?
Yes, it's the cave system is fairly large. You will be able to bring your mechs. The only thing is, you will probably have to exit your mechs to plant the spy equipment. There's a bit of fine handwork that needs to be done setting these things up, and you probably want to make sure that they're going to be out of view. So that may mean tucking them back into a small cavern someplace that mechs aren't normally going to be able to see. So yeah, you'll definitely be able to take your vehicles with you.
Would I have traveled through Liston at any point?
You were talking about having sort of wandered the wastelands a little bit. The Transom Desert would count for that. Lisden is kind of it's sort of a border town. It was probably kept alive by the theronium mining that was going on there, and just everybody would know that theronium ore was like the basis for actually powering tech before the RF technology came into being. Before you guys managed to harness that. So theronium ore was once very important, but once the RF crystals came into the scene, nobody really used it anymore, and Liston started to kind of die off.
Theronium was dethroned.
Yes. Dethroned.
More like dethronium.
I have in my notes now legacy power.
Oh, that's not how I spelled that. Okay.
How would you like to spell it? We can change it to something else.
Theronium.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. Theronium has been dethroned. There we go. I got it now.
You got it. It took a second. We're there.
You got it. We got there eventually.
All right. Any other questions?
I don't think I have any more.
All right. Let's see. So, something else that you guys should know are the rules of engagement. These are things that you cannot do. If you do this, you're going to piss off the people that hired you, and potentially your own patron faction as well. But so you have pretty lax rules this time, not too bad. Your first rule of engagement is do not alert the dirty nails to your presence. The quality of our spy intel is negated if they know we're watching them.
Ooh, okay. That's actually a pretty big hindrance, to be honest. But yes.
Yes. Your second rule of engagement: if contact is made, leave no witnesses.
Okay. Slightly better rules.
Um, and as the flight commander is sort of explaining this, the first one is fairly obvious, and but when he begins to talk about leaving no witnesses, it's not exactly clear what he means by that. He kind of skirts around the issue and just sort of says, "We really can't let anyone know that the EPF were involved in this. So please do your due diligence."
Of course.
So I can tell you what that means out of character, which is, no witnesses. But as for what your characters get from what he's saying there, if you're inferring anything from that, that'll be entirely up to you guys.
Sunny D takes a sip of his coffee and mumbles to himself, plausible deniability.
Let's see. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do? You can potentially gather information if you think that there is something that might help you, um, or if there's anybody you want to talk to in particular. There is a bit of a time constraint going on here, just because they do want to make sure that this group does get out alive. They don't know what's happened to them. They could be in some serious danger, so they don't want you lollygagging around too much. But you've got time to do some stuff if you need to.
Um, is there any way to gather a little bit of information? Just on like possible entries in, or like any kind of information we can get about the entrances for the mines or anything like that.
Yeah. How would you like to go about doing that?
I feel like I would go through like satellite data or some kind of like geographical information. Basically, start like searching the net. That does, but I don't really have a lot of survey or study.
Well, this would probably be a. So let's kind of go over real quick what a.
I guess I have survey.
Because if we're just doing straight up gather information.
Yeah, isn't that like a specific part?
Yeah, I can't remember. Do we need to have like a patron skill involved in that, or does it potentially help you if you've got something? Because I can't remember if it's just a single 1d6 or if you can have, if you can increase it certain ways.
I don't know.
Let's look it up. We'll learn together. This is the one thing. I made a big cheat sheet trying to condense all the rules into someplace very easy for me to find, and for some reason that is the one that I did not have anything for. Gathering information, page 32 of the book.
Ooh. It's not really 32 though, right?
I think it might be. Yes, there's always going to be too much going on for the GM to provide the players with every detail they want to know. This is where you can gather information. Let's see. Players should make a fortune roll if the information is not common knowledge, but there's no barrier. So I don't think in particular that there's like any.
It's not like hidden information.
Yeah. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any really. So I mean, potentially, I can just give you that. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing that's going to be keeping you from what you're asking about. You know, if you want a tactical lay of the land, you can easily find that. If you're doing like a net search as well, there's probably old records showing where old mine entrances were, and you'll definitely know from the briefing where the original Shrapnel Shrike squad entered. So that's always a good place to start from. Um, but if you wanted to try to, come in from a different avenue and reach that point, you could definitely do that as well. But yeah, there's definitely several points of entry. Nothing, if you're looking for like current satellite imagery that you have access to, no. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, just basic information. Like if I can see anything that might indicate it's like an alternative entrance or something like that. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, there's certainly another entrance. The only bad thing is the cave system isn't well documented, at least from what you're seeing. So you might go in there, and it could be a long, winding road to get to where they were sort of last heard from. Um, so if you wanted to try to get a more detailed layout of the cave system itself, that probably would take an actual gather information roll.
May as well.
And you can also do this by, if you want to say that you spoke to people when you got there, you can do that kind of stuff too. This is all sort of like a weird nebulous planning phase for this this mission. So it doesn't all necessarily have to take place in the briefing room right here. If you want to say that you went out and talked to people, maybe you went to Lisden, maybe you went to another mining company or something that has documents that might have this kind of a thing, you can always be that's always an option, just to let you know going forward. So you definitely said that you wanted to do try to find this cave system, get a better map of it. How are you going to go about doing that?
Net search, I think. See if there's anything.
Oh, you froze up for a second.
Oh, just net search, see if I can find anything.
Let's go ahead and just do a fortune roll to gather information, just so we can see how that actually going to work. And as far as I know, that's just a 1d6 to start with.
Neat.
Wow. Okay. You know all the things.
Very detailed map.
Just retire.
I found like a PDF of it just out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh hey.
You basically, as you were kind of searching through everything, somebody's one of the original sites was no longer functioning for the company that used to own this place, but you having wandered the desert for a while, you had an idea of why don't we check out the Internet Wayback Machine kind of thing, which pulled up the cached website of this, and you found some documents on there that were had provided this. So I'll say that yes, while this cave system hasn't been fully documented, it's huge. Um, you do see that there is another entrance that was sealed up at one point. It does seem like it will loop back at some time to the entrance that the original squad used. So it's very likely that you could potentially um, hop onto their trail there. It's not a given. But what this does do is that if for some reason they were ambushed or ran into some sort of problems at that original entrance, you're going to pretty much bypass it entirely and come at it from the side if you come in using this separate entrance. Something else I will give you that you found in the documents just because you rolled so well. Uh, it was noted that this cave system was inhabited by crag beetles. These are basically human-sized beetles, very, very pinchy, very clawy, very Starship Troopers kind of nasty, tear you to shreds sort of things. Um, so you should definitely be on the lookout for those.
Tastes like crag, toss like beetle.
Anything else? Sounds like a no. So in that case, I think let me just make sure that there is nothing else that goes into the actual planning phase of this. I don't believe so. So it looks like the next thing we'll be doing is our first engagement roll. Your engagement roll for a mission basically is going to uh, kind of let me know how well you guys start off. It's going to let me know if you guys start off in a risky position, a controlled position, or if you are starting off in a desperate position already and are kind of screwed from the get-go. Um, so if anybody wants to follow along, that takes place on page 36 of your books.
Oh, you're not gonna get down on one knee?
Oh my god.
We got to see what you roll first. If you roll a 6, I'll get down
That's
on
fair.
both
That's
knees.
fair. All right. Well. All right. All right.
Yeah. Yes. So to make an engagement roll, it's going to see how severe the situation is when your squad goes into it. So we ask some certain questions here, and that will let us know how many dice you get to roll when you do this. Because as always, the higher you roll, the better. So you're going to start off with 1 die for just plain old luck. The next question I'm going to ask you guys, is the mission bold?
Kind of like the opposite of bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not showy at all. It's
No.
not bold.
All right. So it's interesting. It says, is the mission bold? Take 1D. Is that supposed to be like, is it yes or no? I'm going to say that
I mean, Kate,
that's very weirdly written. Let me see if
take plus 1 and versus -1.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that like they assume the mission being bold is a good thing. You know, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's a bold mission, therefore that's a positive.
Okay, so
yeah.
in that
Take another
case,
dice.
yeah. So in that case, you are still at 1 die. We're not going to do that one. Do you see that this mission is overly complex?
Not
No,
really.
it's a
No.
pretty straightforward mission.
All right, so no negatives there. Does the mission exploit the target's vulnerabilities? In this case, your target is the dirty nails.
Mm,
We don't really know the targets.
Yeah, we don't know them unless.
I mean, we
unless,
do know like their one vulnerability in that like they don't know about that side entrance.
or that.
Yeah, I mean
would
that's
be-
a vulnerability. Like we have like an advantage. I don't know if that's
But
counted
that's
in that
not.
sort of sense.
I
Yeah,
don't, that doesn't pertain to specifically the dirty nails. though.
exactly.
True.
Yeah, like we're
Yeah.
not
They're
we're not
just
exploiting
hanging
them.
out there.
Mhm.
I do know the dirty nails.
You do.
Yes.
I know their leader.
I mean,
I've arrested him.
if you found some way to bullshit your way into telling me that will help you out in some way, I'm happy to give it to you.
I mean, I know the way this man sort of acts. I have arrested him a few times, not just for dirty dealing sort of things. He probably like drank a little too much a few times, and it's just like, all right, man, sober up in here.
But that doesn't really exploit the target's vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah,
So,
Maybe I
alright.
had to like hunt him down. No.
yeah.
Probably,
I
yeah.
tried.
Considering that the idea is that you guys don't have to interact with them at all, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I would say probably not. So another thing that I want to ask you guys actually, which I did not go over, was what tactic are you going to take to do this mission? You can either choose assault, deception, scientific, social, stealth, or transport. And the explanations for what those are on page 35. But I can go over them if you guys don't know. We'll do it anyways. Assault is an open violence against the target. The detail is the point of attack. Deception is luring, tricking, or manipulating target. The detail is the method for that deception. Scientific is engaging with technological power. The detail is the unusual procedures used. Social is when the squad negotiates with, bargains with, or persuades the target. The detail will be your social connection. Stealth is for taking action undetected. The detail is the point of infiltration. And transport is carrying cargo and people through danger. The detail is the route and the means.
Probably stealth, right?
It sounds
Okay,
definitely stealth.
Yeah.
Stealth or
I would-
transport. Yeah. Depending on
or
how the mission goes, right?
Deception.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'd
this
say
is
stealth
Mostly-
like kind of screams at me there though.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is kind of like a textbook case of stealth.
I don't know though. A case could be made for deception because we could lure them away from our targets
Mhm.
or something.
And then
And in case we made for
destroy them.
transport with what our goal is.
That's true. We do have
Yeah.
to get rid of the or we do have to get the shrapnel strikes out of there.
And we had to set up the spy equipment, which I'm assuming we're, like we were transporting that to its destination as well. I still sort of feel like stealth,
Yeah,
the-
stealth seems like the primary mode of execution.
Yeah,
like we're trying to not get seen.
Mhm.
that's true.
If we get
Okay.
seen, maybe we talk our way out of it, but let's just try to avoid that in the first place.
All right. So now that we've done what that is, I can ask you the next question. And it sounds like we're still only at 1d6, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the mission's tactic ineffective against the target?
I would say it shouldn't be ineffective.
Yeah, it shouldn't be ineffective.
Yeah,
it should
you,
be
you
super effective.
yeah, you guys have done very well with dotting your I's and crossing your T's, getting ready for this. Does the squad receive external support for the mission? I'm not giving you support,
I
but
don't think we're getting extra squad support. Like no one
No,
else is gonna drop in.
no, the remaining shrapnel strike, they're sort of bound to Lisden right now. They can't come out and help you. That's the whole reason you're going there. But I mean, if for some reason you guys had somebody that you wanted to try to call in and help, I'm not gonna say no.
I mean, I don't think so. I think it is just us, which is also sort of the point with a mission like this, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
All right. The other question is: anyone interfering with the mission other than the target? This is one I get to have a say on as well. But if you guys know of anything or want someone to interfere, I can certainly make that happen. But off the bat, I'll just tell you right now, no, this is fairly straightforward. So out of character, you guys, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be no weird outside interferences going on with this.
No
I
retcon
don't
Ray. Damn
know.
it.
I don't know. Val does seem to know that character. I'm sorry,
But
Bellerophon does seem to know that character. It seems an awful lot like a rival.
Hmm.
but those are rusty nails.
Yeah, but they
That's
are,
like an inside force.
yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
other than the target, yeah. So last question, which is where you guys can try to canoodle me for some more dice here. Are there any other factors that affect the mission? If it's something that benefits the squad, you get another die. If it hinders you, we'll take one away. This might include differences in squad tier, specialized equipment that you'll be using, unusual terrain, or something else entirely.
Having that layout of the mines, like having that intel, I think is just like a big specific advantage.
Well, also the Theronium threw off scans, right? Like
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Long range
Um,
scanners.
Yeah.
Does that also throw off, like, if they are trying to scan us within the mines, like would that throw
Yes.
off their scans?
So the scanners that you guys are going to be placing, they, because of the theronium that's still sort of laced in the caverns there, these scanners aren't going to be like super detailed even then. So even down there, with this specialized equipment, it's kind of hard to get a read on things. So yes, you guys will be a little bit in the dark, but so will they. So it's going to be hard for them to basically pick you up at range. They'll
But they don't.
probably. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say they don't know we're coming. So, and our mission is to remain unseen. So we're like, would that mean we're at the advantage
Yes,
there?
yes, absolutely. Um, the only thing that could potentially mean that, if for some reason they had some hand in the original squad going missing, they may be expecting someone to be around, but that's a potential complication that we're not really committing to just yet. So I will say that yes, definitely you'll get another D6 because of the information roll that you got earlier that gave you the alternate entrance there and the nice layout of the cave. And yeah, since you're saying that the scanning down there is probably going to help mask your signatures going in, then yeah, I'll give you another die for that as well.
I'll take it.
So who wants to be the official first engagement roller to roll a 3d6?
I mean, if no one's volunteering, then I'll go for it.
All right, roll it up.
And it's keep the highest, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
Awesome. You
Nice.
got a 6.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys will be starting on in a controlled position. So why don't we take a quick, what do you guys want, 10-minute break?
10's fine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So we'll take a
Ooh.
10-minute break. I will try to figure out exactly where this means you guys are going to start. And we'll meet back here at 25 after. And I'll see you then.
Sounds good.
I didn't have paper and whatever, so I just typed out notes.
I couldn't handwrite notes. It would be a jumbled mess, and I wouldn't be able to read it the next day.
Dude, yeah.
That's just
I
how I live
realized,
my life. What were you saying, Ben?
my handwriting has gone to crap since I've had a job for forever and not been in school having to write stuff. It's crazy. I like pick up a pen and I'm like, how do I even use this? I'm not signing my name.
My handwriting was really bad.
The pointy end.
I eventually I had to like actually practice for a little bit because I got a fancy little fountain pen.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, I gotta remember how to write.
I don't know how to write at all. And Jared, 19.
Jared, 19.
I do draw. I draw. You guys seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
very
your
well.
art.
I just can't write for shit.
That's okay. Some people that think they can write can't either.
I find that like people who are artistic like that go either one of two ways. Their handwriting's either spectacular and pristine, or like absolute garbage. And
Like
it's
a
just
doctor.
there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's like no middle ground. They're either like they are fantastic handwriters with letters, or they are just not. Um, like I said, no middle ground. It's no like, it's okay.
Which one is your daughter?
She's okay. She's great. I mean, she's little.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's legible when they're young, it's very good.
It's good.
Yeah.
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 All right. So you guys are starting off in a very nice controlled position here. So we're going to kind of jump ahead to the action. We don't need, we don't want to spend the entire time traipsing through the desert or anything to get here. So you guys have, I'm assuming, taken that second entrance that Will discovered.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys have gone through, you sort of this entrance had been sealed up. You guys were able to sort of take down the old boarded up entrance there, slip in, and entered into this section of the cave that has not been frequented in quite a while. But it doesn't look like anything crazy had gone on here. So you sort of make your way through, following what little of the detailed map that you have to try to come around to the sort of pincher attack into this side cavern where you knew that they had last been seen. And as you come in, you guys will notice that there is two mechs, and anyone who knows what these they are hunchback class mechs. They are sort of short and squat, bent over, and obviously the reason they are called hunchback mechs is kind of in between their shoulder blades is a large mounted turret. And both of these mechs look like they are sort of in a kneeling position, which is... Oh, bless you.
Sorry, I should have muted.
No, you're good. They are in a kneeling position, which is sort of like the classic standby mode. So it either means that they aren't currently being piloted or they're not ready for action, which is a little surprising because there is another mech that is most decidedly not a hunchback, that is sort of circling them waringly. Waringly. Did I say that right? I don't know. Sure. Whatever. We'll fix it in post.
It's warily.
Thank you. Warily. I knew when John's face went. I was heading towards trouble there. So yes, circling them warily, and this particular mech, you can't really spot what its make is because it's got basically other pieces of mechs just attached to it in all different places. It looks very dirty and worn out, but it's still functioning. You don't really know how this thing's still moving, but it sure as hell is. And I will say that because of how you guys entered, this thing has not seen you. It's still pretty far in the distance, but it's regarding these two powered down hunchbacks very very keenly. Who sort of took lead position coming into this thing?
I feel like, well, Sonny would have obviously said something about letting Athena go first because she's in charge. So he would probably say something smug like, "Well, you said you're in command, so after you."
A commander doesn't mean I charge headfirst into battle. It means I delegate that to whoever is most suited for the job.
Well,
That might be
obviously
me
not.
some of the time.
We're going in the side entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the person who should be taking point should be the quietest mech.
That's not me, but I'll go.
Ain't me either.
All right.
Go ahead. Shock red.
Yeah. So I guess D is in charge. Sonny.
All right.
What?
So I'll say you're taking point, so we'll have you act first. You've noticed this sort of off-kilter mech has discovered these two hunchbacks. The hunchbacks are definitely they have like the Shrike insignia on one of their arms. So it looks like these two mechs definitely belonged to the squad that you were sent here to find. How would you like to approach this particular issue?
Okay. Well, if I know the two disabled mechs are the ones we're supposed to, I guess, recover, or the people in them recover, right?
Yes.
I guess I want to. There's only one mech on one other mech.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, this is a fairly wide open cavern here. So if somebody was lurking around with him, they'd be pretty easy to spot. You can't see anyone just yet.
Okay. All right. I guess we should directly engage then, huh?
I'm certainly not going to stop you.
Can I, before we do that, can I try and hack it
Oh.
into the mech that's like floating around?
Yeah. If that's something you want to do. Let's see. What action would that be using?
Interface.
Okay. So what does that look like when you try to do that?
I think I'm trying to use my ship systems to uh, I guess, get into the other ship systems. Maybe by way of communications array or something like that. I'm not sure. Do I have to call equipment or something?
Is there like specifically gear that you would think would like necessitate that sort of a thing? I'm not really seeing anything on there. Let's see, weapons gear.
Coding program. Retrieval program.
Yeah, and those are gray. So I mean, if those will be free, so you wouldn't have to like openly declare them and use a load.
Okay.
So what is sort of your intention by hacking him here?
I'm trying to determine, first of all, if it's piloted, and second of all, if I can get any information about the mech.
All right. So yeah, let's we'll do an interface roll on that. I will say that you're in a controlled position, and your effect is probably going to be standard.
Okay.
God,
Am I rolling this wrong or something?
I don't know. I don't think so. Try again. Everybody's like really kicking ass with sixes tonight. It looks like it's doing it correctly.
Yeah, it looks correct.
Okay, yeah,
you're
no,
you're just killing it. Just
Yeah.
crits
Okay.
all over the place.
See, you just crit that thing. So in that case, your effect is going to go up to, I believe they call it like what, great effect?
Yeah.
All right. So I will say that, yes, this thing is definitely piloted, and you're not only going to get a chance to kind of get as much information as you can in there, but I'll give you like, I'll say you basically kind of give this thing like a temporary shutdown if you want, or at least jam it up a little bit so it's not going to be able to react immediately.
Yeah, I definitely want to like try and shut down its sensors or something, to give us an opportunity to get by.
Yeah. So we kind of get this this inner camera inside this mech's cockpit. There's a dirty young man in there, and he's just sort of flipping away at his things, marking some information down about these two mechs that he's just found when his control panel just kind of seizes up on him. He can't get anything to move, and he just kind of puts out like a shortwave radio burst, which would just be like right in the vicinity of you guys. Um, so it's something that your communication system would pick up, and he just kind of immediately says, "What the hell's going on out there?" Not really talking to anybody in particular, but you definitely get this over your comm systems, and he just sort of you just kind of hear him fighting with his controls on the other end. But other than that, he seems fairly motionless in his mech right now. And you said you wanted to see if there was anything that you could learn about the mech. Was there anything in particular that you wanted?
I guess I wanted to know. My assumption is that they are. This is probably a mech of the Dirty Nails. So I wanted the confirmation on that. I don't know. I guess it's really the only information I wanted.
Yeah, you could definitely get. He's kind of broadcasting with like a specific signal that sort of identifies him as being part of the Dirty Nails there. So yes, armed with that knowledge, anything you want to share with Sonny before he goes in and does whatever it was he was about to do?
I advise caution. Let's slip past while his sensors are disabled.
Makes sense. I mean, we get by quickly. We can hopefully. That doesn't seem like the mechs are turned on. I doubt there's pilots in them.
All right, let's keep moving.
All right then.
All right. So it sounds like Sonny's going to be leading the charge on getting you guys past. You're probably so how are you guys doing that? Basically, just gonna sneak around, just kind of hoping to just barrel on through now that his sensors are jacked up and he's just not even going to be able to notice you no matter what, or
I'm not the leader.
Yeah, I feel like my mech is particularly light-footed, so I feel like he would just kind of like tiptoe like just like around the back side of the disabled mech to get through this particular region of the cavern.
and I think we could do. There's like a group role that potentially would come into play here.
A prowl or something.
Yeah.
And we'd have some kind of advantage, right? Because he can't really see us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you would definitely be still in a controlled state. Trying to see. Pardon me. It seems like everything I want to do is the one thing that I didn't put on my cheat sheet here.
That's how it usually goes, right?
John, you don't happen to remember what the name of that role was if you're doing something as a group. Is it on the? It might actually even be on the character sheet someplace.
It does. It says team actions, and then it's got when you direct a group of pilots to overcome an obstacle together, describe how your character leads the effort. Every pilot that's involved rolls using the same action, and the group uses the single best result for everyone. The pilot leading the group takes one stress for each participant that rolled 1 to 3 as their best result. If a pilot didn't roll as part of the group, they can't use the group's result.
So
and then it goes on to talk
Oh,
about
I
stuff.
see this. Yeah, okay.
So the benefit of doing this is that potentially, if you're doing this as a group action, then whoever's the highest roll, that means everybody's going to succeed and get past this. Obviously, whoever's leading it is going to take stress, depending on how many people are currently involved in the roll. You can also, if you don't want to go that route, everybody can roll separately, or just a few people can get in on this action here. What would you guys like to do? Ben, as with Sonny being the leader here, you're going to be the one taking the brunt of the problems if something goes wrong.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I feel like I could my mech could tiptoe across the area, and then once I get to the other side, look back and shh.
Kind of like be able to direct us.
Yeah, yeah.
I have no prowl, so you are probably going to take stress from me.
Yeah, same.
I got prowl.
I've got 2 prowls.
So it's likely somebody will get a 6, but you may get stress from at least one or two of us.
So my question is, prowl is a pilot action. If you're in
Oh,
your
that's a good point.
vehicles,
Oh, right,
so
Oh, yeah.
right.
would this be more of a maneuver?
Oh, I've got maneuver.
I don't
got
have
It would be.
maneuver.
It would be maneuver.
So it's
Yeah.
it's if
Yeah, it's maneuver. Yeah, that's fine.
so in that case, it sounds like Ben's still going to be leading the charge on this, but we'll take the highest roll out of everybody that's going to be involved in the group. Is everybody going to be in on the group roll here?
Yeah.
Mhm. Does everyone have to use the same roll type?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. Let's
Uh,
maneuver.
So let's see. And then I think that, as I said, it's a controlled. It's going to be I'll say a great effect, just because his sensors are shut down, so you guys are looking pretty good here. Um,
All right, so we'll just roll.
I think so. I don't think there's anything else that you guys want to try to add to this, right?
If we only have 1 point, we just roll 1 dice, right?
Yes,
Right.
if you only have 1 point. If you have nothing, then you got to roll the keep lowest.
Like me. I got a 3.
Oof.
Sorry, I'm
Come on,
trying to figure this out.
Ben. You got it.
Maneuver. It's maneuver. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Shoot tabs and then 1,
You can do it, please.
6. Ugh, I'm a noob. Go on. I'm just.
Oh,
I
wow.
gave myself stress.
So we got a 4. 4 is the
Yeah.
highest.
4 is the highest.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing because of the controlled position here. So yeah, so what? You'll take 3 stress based on that. As we know, stress is not good in this game. You want to try to keep that as low as possible for as long as you can. But you're not looking too bad. You'll get a chance to get rid of some of that there later on. So with controlled rolls, you got a 4 or 5. So it says the pilot hesitates. You can withdraw and try a different approach, or you can continue on with a controlled consequence. So what would you like to do? If you want, you can just be like, you basically kind of start doing this and be like, actually this doesn't make sense. We really shouldn't be doing this. I don't think I can get us through without this being a problem for us. Or you can continue on. You'll succeed, but you'll take a controlled consequence.
Mm.
What's an example of a controlled consequence?
Yeah.
Glad you asked. Where is? So controlled consequences. I can adjust a clock by 1 tick. I can reduce the effect level to a minimum of limited. I can only choose that on a 4 or 5 result. I can create a new threat clock and add a tick to it. I can move you to a worse position. I can just say that the action failed and the chance for that chosen action to work has passed. A different action must be used to overcome the obstacle, or it can be attempted again at a worse position. That can only be done on a 1 to 3, which you guys don't have to worry about. I can have one of you take a level 1 harm or level 1 damage. I can have you spend personnel or material points, or I can have you lose trust with an appropriate faction. So of those potential consequences, I would say I would probably move you to either a worse position, or I would create a new threat clock and add a tick to it.
It wouldn't just go to like standard effect from great effect.
It,
I'm
it
just curious.
no, yeah, it can. That's one of the options if I want to go that route based on what your choice
Got
is.
it.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, let's take the condition then. F it. Succeed, but condition.
All right. So I will say that I'm going to add a new threat clock um, and add a tick to it. So the question becomes, do I tell you what this clock represents or not? I'm going to say not, because it's more fun that way. I'm going to give you a 4-tick clock here. Put in the top left. And we'll set that to 1. These little doohickeys are so fun.
That looks fun. I like a doohickey. Look, guys, we messed up, but we got a doohickey. Or I messed up,
The
but we
first
got a
doohickey.
doohickey.
Well, we all kind of collectively messed up.
Yeah.
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 But the nice thing is, the cool thing about that group role is that you still made it through based on one person succeeding. So that
You're welcome.
yes.
Hooray.
Thank
Thank
you.
goodness.
Thank you for carrying us.
My loud ass mech wouldn't have got through otherwise.
Yeah, you big ass
Your
turtle.
Max-
Yeah.
Is this making like the hydraulics or something? Like,
It's just like boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
So I'm calling that clock. Oh no. Well, anyway, and I'm writing down what that means to me.
And artificial intelligence takes note of you.
So you guys will make it through. We did add a threat clock there. It took a little longer than it should have. It seems like Sonny was sort of directing you guys to be just a little more cautious than maybe was necessarily needed. Will really did a number on that guy's sensors. You probably could have just chucked on through there and he never would have knew. But who knows why it happened this way? But it took a little longer. But you made it through the other side. You are further down in the cavern now. You have left that guy behind if you want. He doesn't really know what happened to his mech, but eventually it will kind of come back under his control and he'll be able to move around again. But yeah, so what is your plan now that you've passed by that guy? Now that you've seen that, yes, the Shrike Squad was down here. You've come across 2 of their mechs. Not really sure what happened, but
Can I reference the map for point of interest?
sure. I will say that further up towards the kind of veering off to the right, you kind of go down some caverns down that way. Eventually, you will come upon a there's an old dig site there, which is kind of where like the main mining was taking place back in the day. Um, so that is potentially a place of interest for you. Another potential place that you guys could go would be a branch off to the left, which is kind of uncharted. They don't really know what's going on back there because this was where they would run into a lot of the crag beetles. So they kind of said that's their area. Let's stay away from them. That's probably not a good place to be running off into.
So it's basically a fork in the cavern.
Sure.
um, I have some option in my loadout that maybe I want to talk about, and also the ability to scan.
Okay.
I have scanners that allow my vehicle to see in darkness and spot heat signatures.
Oh, interesting.
So I think I'd like to use that down the bug road, and kind of see what's going on.
All right. So I'll say that you don't get like a massive ping on there from like a mech or something that would be like, oh yeah, there's something huge down there. But you get there's like it's cooling pretty rapidly now, but there's like jags cut into the side of the cave walls, potentially by laser fire, and it's you still got some heat to it. So something went on down here. It's sort of
Recently, it's like kind of like charring, kind of.
yeah.
And then what was the other way?
The other way was heading towards a an old dig site for the theronium ore. And if you were to scan down that way, um,
I would like to. Yes.
you'll eventually things kind of start petering out a little bit just because of the ore messing with your sensors. But there's definitely a ton of action going on down that way.
As far as heat and signatures.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I like turn around to face the other mechs, and I'm like, all right, so here's the deal. Down this way, we've got bugs and recent battle, and down this way, we've got a lot of heat source. Any input?
If there was recent battle, that means there still could be more, but it also is quite possibly where we need to be.
I do agree with you there, Desdemona.
Call signs.
Right. So, Athena, we've decided that we're gonna go this way.
Which way is that again?
Bugs.
I guess towards the
Bugs
bugs.
are
Yeah.
to the left, though.
Camera left or
My left, stage left.
Left?
I was never good at that.
But yeah, bugs.
All right. So, if you guys are heading down that way, you can definitely see as you go through the laser fire on the walls is still cooling rapidly. It's almost like it sort of flash fried the rock a little bit, and it's sort of like melted magma-esque, which is why the heat is still sort of coming off of it. Um, but as you move down further, eventually you start to hear sort of echoing in the distance that there is some kind of cannon fire going on.
We'll need to make sure we can not get seen as soon as we approach it, but we need to see what that is.
Roger that, Desdemona.
And if it's nails, then plausible deniability. I mean, they got killed by bugs.
Exactly.
If they were already in a fight and we interrupt their fight, I don't really see too much of an issue.
Sounds good to me.
Ryder, will you be able to potentially maybe jam their radios?
I don't really have that kind of equipment on my Mac.
Okay. We'll just have to act decisively. Should it come to that.
All right. So are you proceeding cautiously? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Kind of
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
So I'll say that you'll kind of remain in your controlled position then, and as you move through the cavern system, following the sound of this fire, eventually you will come upon another hunchback. This one looks to be a little better off than the other ones. It's got a dual cannon on the top rather than the single turret, and it's you see several of these crag beetles kind of swarming up its body. It's sort of smashing at itself to get them off with its hands. Other beetles are crawling up the side wall, and the turret is actively sort of trying to track them, sort of wildly swinging back and forth and firing off in different directions. Hits a couple every now and again, but this thing is getting swarmed pretty quickly.
Should we help them?
Well, that's our target.
Exactly.
We're supposed to bring them back alive, if at all possible. So, yes.
Great.
So.
How many targets are there?
There are multiple targets, quite a few. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a new clock up here for you guys. And this clock is going to represent the swarm of crag beetles. So you fill this thing up, you will have effectively saved this poor mech's life. And I don't know if I'm doing this right, but we'll see. I'm going to add another clock, which is going to represent the kind of health of this mech.
Sure.
And if that fills up before the other one does, that's bad news for you guys. Definitely bad news for the mech.
Can I call that I have a machine gun
Of course.
and start blasting?
So, anyways,
I would like to
Yeah,
engage with battle.
we can definitely do that. So I'm going to say that since you came onto this thing, you're not being attacked yet. You're still in that controlled position. I'm going to say that it's probably going to be just a, I'll say standard on the effect that you'll have. Is there anything else you want to do? Heck, let's say this. I'll give you the option for a collateral die here. I'll give you another die, but with your spray of machine gun fire here, you may potentially hit. No, you will hit your target that you're trying to save here, and damage him if you decide to take this die.
Um, no, that's okay. Not for now. I'll roll my 3.
All right. So failures are no good. The consequence for a standard, I'll detail what that is, and then we can talk about whether or not you want to potentially resist this at all. Or sorry for controlled. So again, I can adjust the clock by 1 tick. In this case, what I would do would be to potentially probably increase his harm. The other option is that you can decide that this was not a good idea after all, since you are in a controlled position, and you can rethink this and try something else. But I think if you go about it that way, I have to bring your position down from controlled to risky.
Hmm. So those are my 2 options.
I would say in this case. Otherwise, if you want, you can let the roll stand, and you can just try to resist that clock ticking consequence.
How do I resist?
All right. To resist when you're in your mech, right next to your character sheet. So in this case, you would have to. I believe you have to say like how you're going to resist that consequence of him being damaged. And you'll have to spend an amount of quirks equal to, in this case, you've got 4 quirks right now, minus 2 because you've got 2 quirks in your expertise. You've got a point in battle. You've got points in battle and points in maneuver. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
I'm just gonna let the consequence stand. It's fine.
All right. So in that case, we're just gonna let him
Take damage.
take 1 damage. Not too bad. You kind of spray your machine gun fire. Whether it's luck or these things are just pretty resistant, some of the bullets kind of bounce off their carapace and don't really have much of an effect. You see one of them kind of reach up and bite into the joint on the left arm of this hunchback. It must sever something that's sort of vital for this thing to work, because the arm just kind of drops dead to its side at that point, and makes it a little easier for them to come up against it. So, anybody have any idea what they would like to do next? we haven't heard from Bellerophon in a bit. What would you like to do?
I was about to volunteer, but I want to spend the vehicle gear
Okay.
and just have the dragon half of my mech just spew fire from its flamethrower.
All right. What would you be using for this?
I want to kind of just you know what? Screw it. I'm just going for a straight battle. I want to hurt these beetles.
Sounds good. I will. Are you aiming for the ones at him or on the wall?
Uh, hmm. I'm gonna try to aim for the ones on him because that's more dire, I think.
And I'll give you the same option that I gave
Yeah.
Will. If you want, you can take a collateral die. You'll hurt him, but you have more chance of success here.
You already got hurt. I'm not taking that collateral die.
And also, I mean, if anybody wants, they can also try to help out.
I'll assist, and I'm going to use my tactical genius ability, so I can assist without paying stress 2 times per mission.
So here's the question about that. If you assist in a vehicle, do you spend quirks or do you still spend stress? I want to say if you're pushing yourself, you spend quirks, but if you're helping someone, it's stress. Does that sound about right?
I think so.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, so since you guys have one connection, you'll have to spend 1 stress to help out. You can either give her an extra die, make sure she has an improved effect, an improved position, or they can ignore level 3 harm, which she doesn't have.
Okay. So I don't have to spend the stress this time. And I will add 1 die.
Okay.
And I will say I was prepared for this by
Huh.
having a weapon on my mech. That's how I prepared for this moment, with my tactical prowess.
Yeah, and what does
Such tactical.
it look like when you're actually helping?
I suppose I should pick a weapon. Let's say I'm gonna have a directed energy weapon. So you see, there's a big cannon on top that it looks like 2 beams along each other with basically a fork, and then in between it you see it start crackling back and forth with lightning. That just once it's kind of spun up, it just starts the arc hits one bug and starts jumping about between them.
Nice. All right, let's hope that nice description doesn't go to waste.
I mean, I already rolled it,
She rolled.
and I rolled a
It was
6.
good.
Oh, wow.
It was good.
Great stuff.
Thank you for the extra die. That actually did help. Otherwise,
It was
would
the
have
last
did
die, yeah.
Yes. So in that case, I'm going to say that I can't remember if I said or not, but that was going to be a controlled with a standard effect. So in that case, a standard effect will give you 2 ticks against the crag beetle swarm.
Yay.
Looking pretty good. Okay, let's see. Sunny. Everybody else is popping off. What are you doing?
I believe
I'll just let you
Yeah.
know. The guy the mech's arm is just sort of hanging there. He's most of the beetles have been cleared off from him now. I'm going to say that there's no way that these things haven't cottoned on to the fact that you guys are here now. So that's going to affect things going forward. But all the beetles that were on the wall, they have now Some of them are going back towards the Hunchback, but a good deal of them have now redirected and they are heading for your group. So that's sort of the situation that you're presented with here.
Great. I believe Sonny's mech has a melee weapon. Or two. Yeah, let's make it two because it's giving me the option on the line. So I am imagining that these are similarly technology like energy beam weapons, similar to what I guess Athena was just showing off. They kind of like spark to start, but then they look like just like really hot flames. They're not like lightsabers, but like they are formed energy sabers.
That's almost the name of the game.
Some kind of saber made of beams.
We're playing Formed Energy Saber.
Formed energy sabers. I said it. Yeah, and so I would say they are, let's call them, I don't know, short sword length.
Cool. So mark those
Uh,
on your vehicle gear.
Yes. And yeah, so he just starts going ham, I guess, at the closest bugs that he's around.
All right. What action do you want to use for that?
I think just battle.
Uh-oh.
Nice. Okay, so since you've got nothing in there, we're gonna
To
do the
lowest.
yes.
Yeah.
Unless anybody wants to help him in some way, or you can also spend. If you can tell me how you're going to use a quirk to help yourself, you can also push yourself in your vehicle, and that will give you an extra die there.
Would I have to pick the lowest if I gave myself an extra die?
Nope. If
How
you
does
give
that work?
if you give
It
yourself an
just
extra
straight-
die, you just do a straight 1d6.
Oh, I see.
And then people can still help you if they want to try to raise that even more. So I would say probably
Yeah,
probably not Bellerophon. Sorry, what's your call sign there? Artemis. Probably not Artemis or Athena, since they've just acted, but potentially will if he wanted to. Sorry, Ryder. But yeah.
All right, yeah, let's roll 1d6. I'm gonna use, I guess, roaring fast. He's gonna hit like his afterburners and like just like throw himself like kind of like a spear, hacking and slashing, like going across the area. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So make sure you mark off that quirk when you do that. So that puts you at 1d6. I'm trying to
rock and roll.
think. I can also try to give you a collateral die. I can't think up of anything, but if you have some ideas on what you guys, what might be a.
I rolled.
Oh,
I
you
rolled a
rolled.
2 unless I rolled.
Yeah, you're stuck with that then. So since I said that your position was going to go down, that was going to be a. Where's my cheat sheet? Just so I get the nomenclature correct. That was going to be a risky standard. So when it comes to those consequences, risky consequences, I can either choose 2 controlled consequences, adjust the clock by 2 ticks, reduce the effect by 2 levels to a minimum of limited. Let's see. Have you take harm? Have you take damage? I think I'm going to choose two controlled consequences, and um, I'm going to move you to a worse position as these things start to swarm you guys. So you're going to move to a desperate position now.
Oh no,
This
I've tripped.
and the other thing is I'm going to adjust the clock by one tick. But the clock I'm going to adjust is the oh no, well, anyway.
Uh-oh.
All right. So you kind of start swinging away at this stuff. It really doesn't seem to be helping you out at
It
all
was
here.
not very effective.
No. Their their weakness is evidently not random energy things. But this stuff starts to swarm the other mech again. They haven't done any damage to it, but they're primarily coming up against you guys, and they begin to kind of crawl up your legs and start gnawing and chewing and trying to get into the joints. Most of your mech's armor keep you relatively safe, but all it's going to take is one of these things randomly getting uh, just the right spot to start doing some damage to you. Ryder, let's see what you'd like to do.
Um, I think what I'd like to do is call my second piece of vehicle gear. My shoulder pads pop open and reveal a rack of missiles. Um, and I'd like to uh, fire them off using battle, but I would also like to use my blinding boosters to distract them while I do that. So calling a quirk.
Sounds good. So that'll give you another die if you'd like.
Yeah. Six.
And I will just let you know that this is you're sort of in a desperate position, and this is still going to be a standard effect because you're unleashing some good hell on these things. And just to note that anytime you roll when you're in a desperate position, you get experience for doing that.
That's general experience.
That is experience in the category of action that you rolled.
Ah, I see. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens to this. Yay!
Nice. Okay. So with a standard, so you basically unrack your missile load here. With a standard effect, you're going to be able to do two ticks, which means that you're gonna fill this clock up. So why don't you describe to me what this looks like when you take out the remainder of these beetles?
So I think that like as they're starting to creep out of like holes and stuff like that, you get a shot of inside the cockpit, and you get that classic anime moment where like it locks on like a million different targets, and then the missiles just like pop off, spiral around, and just like blast them. So you see a bunch of like blasts and a bunch of like splatters of these beetles, which just like clears the entire cave that we're in.
Yeah, there may have been a few that were starting to peek their heads out, but once they realize what the hell's going on, they may be blind, dumb, insectoid things, but they're not stupid to that point. So the rest flee, um, and you have effectively saved this hunchback here, and almost immediately, the four of you get a ping on your comms. He's hailing you to interact.
Bring him up.
You get the screen view. His head pops up. It's a kind of middle-aged man. He's got a receding hairline. He's looks a little worn, but not too bad. He's kind of got a bit of blood coming down from the side of his mouth where he was kind of shaken in the cockpit a little bit. But he just kind of stares into the screen, breathing pretty heavily, and says, "By sin, where did you guys come from?"
Classified, but nonetheless, we're here for you. So, what's the status? Where's the rest?
We're trying to set up. Wait, what do you mean you're here for us?
Well, we're here to exfiltrate you as well as finish your mission for you.
There's sort of like a moment's hesitation, and you see the mounted cannon kind of slowly swivel down. He's trying to be nonchalant about it, but he does point it at you guys, and he just says, thanks for the help, but I don't know you guys from Adam. So unless you can give me a little something to go on here, I don't see why I should trust you.
Thinking.
We did just save his hide, right?
Oh yeah, but just because you saved him doesn't mean he's going to start revealing everything about whatever his mission was to you guys.
I have fine friend or foe tags, so I would be able to sort of bring up like I kind of flicked on my like IFF and like not I don't like leave it on long, but I just kind of flash it essentially.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
just show that it would not show that I'm like EPF obviously because it's been changed, it's been altered to be this mercenary group, but nonetheless.
Yeah, and I imagine that going along with that, there's probably just that code that you're flashing. You would have been given something that would have said, "Hey, yes, we're actually here to help you."
Yeah, like it has like I picture maybe like it has like a call sign that he recognizes added to it.
Yeah,
like it has like a phrase that he's supposed to recognize added to it.
I like it.
That's what I was gonna say.
So he'll kind of verify for a second. You see him looking down at his console, and then the mounted gun kind of swivels back into a ready position. And he says, "Thought we were lost down here."
You didn't answer my first question, which was what happened to everyone else.
Right. Sorry. We were in the process of setting up the last of the devices. I was providing cover while they were outside their mechs when the beetles attacked. I don't know what happened to them. They went running off deeper into a smaller cavern. They abandoned their mechs. When I was finished dealing with what was going on there, I got the other beetles away, but before I could go in search of them, I noticed one of the nails coming up. I had to bug out this way. Ha! I said bug out.
Yes, we managed to bypass probably the same person.
Unfortunately, I think some of our equipment was damaged. I can't finish this mission. Did they send you with anything else?
Out of character, did they send us more of the equipment?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, we should be able to patch up what you're missing. Finish it up.
Yeah, they would have given you. We'll say it was like they were 4 sensors that they gave you.
Okay.
I'm still not exactly sure what happened to my men, but they knew what they were getting into.
If we see it as possible, we can try to see to recover them, hopefully alive. But the mission comes first, which we're going to complete.
I will remind you that your primary mission is to get them out. Your secondary mission is to plant those things. Was that intentional on your part?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna look, but they got chased by beetles out of their mechs. We're gonna look.
Is there any way he can mark on our maps or something like that, like where the location where
So
they
we
were
do like a little
supposed to?
data transfer given the map.
Yeah, I mean it does sound like wherever those 2 mechs were abandoned, that's where this all went down. He didn't really see which direction they ran off to, but it would have been like a smaller cavern that the mechs wouldn't have fit in, because they were currently outside setting up their last device inside this little sort of nook and cranny when this all went down. So it would the easiest place to try to track them down would be to go back where those 2 mechs were
The
last
first
seen.
room.
Yeah. Um, but if you mention that you're wanting to do that, he will shake his head on screen and say, "No, we have to make sure that these devices are planted. We can't let the ambitious get away with whatever it is they're trying to do down here. This comes first."
So you have the locations of the uh, places to mark, or are we still just trying to find some better
Uh,
places?
yeah, he'll. Is that what you were asking earlier, John? Or were you asking where these people were at? Sorry.
No, I was asking him if he can mark where those that skinning equipment should go,
Okay.
like where.
Okay. Then yes, yeah. Then sorry, I was misunderstanding that. So yes, to in that case, and to answer both of your questions, um, then yeah, he'll give you a quick data transfer. Shows you like where the primary targets were. It says that 2 of them or 3 of them were already kind of checked off. The last one was in the cavern where you guys left off at, which obviously was not planted. And it also gives you like an alternate place that you could plant these things in the event that the original sites weren't going to work out. So, what are you guys going to do? Are you focusing on trying to plant these devices? Are you going to try to find these guys first and foremost, and then worry about that?
I think our primary objective should be to find them. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think we should like give it a try. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we'll see if we can like manage to do that.
Yeah, like, if those other things are on the way, maybe we can plant them as
or,
available.
Yeah.
yeah, like try and at least plant one sensor down that way.
Yeah.
All right, that works. It's 10:30. This seems like a fairly good place to stop, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we covered a lot tonight. I can't tell, but we're still kind of getting into things. I think we're starting to get an idea of how roles work and how you can push yourself and how to use stress and help one another out. We got into a few more systems than I thought we would tonight, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna call it a success, and we'll come back and hopefully finish this mission out next time.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you for running it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
a lot of
fun.
Thank you.
I think we're like settled in now. You know, we can kind of
We're getting settled into our roles.
exactly. We're gonna kind of have a good jump off point for next time. Like we don't got to go through as much stuff next time. We can kind of just get rolling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, let me stop this.
Nice.